kind of nervous. I think they're doing a sonogram, she said, or ultrasound, and then there's probably a couple of things they're gonna do today. But just kind of nervous. Ready here, please. So right now I'm waiting. They're gonna check to see how many eggs I got, and I'm just trying to record real quick while they're not in here. So this is the machine, and it's really scary. She was just telling me my percent and my chance and my rates, but I'll do a little more explaining after because I don't want to get in trouble. It's a body squad. When did I go see the fertility doctor? On the 17th. So no, I think it was on the 18th. It was the 18th. And I was really emotional the first day. And then in the nighttime, I couldn't sleep. I've been having insomnia for the past couple of days, or probably a week now, for a little bit. But, when I went in, I had a talk with the fertility doctor. And, when I was in the hospital, I was told that the state would pay for the treatment, to get the eggs removed and freeze them or whatever the case may have been. And I did my eyebrows. See, they clean. But it turns out that you have to have a specific insurance, and I don't want to go into detail about that. And that they weren't going to pay for that. So they wanted about if I wanted to do embryo freezing, right? Medication would cost me anywhere from $3,000 to $6,000. And this is so that they could mature the eggs quick. So my worry was what if I didn't have any eggs? That was my worry. Because of the endometriosis and the cancer, whatever. So I found out after they do the sonogram. I'm going to show you the little videos that when I was doing it. I also have a sonogram picture, but you can't really tell. But that's the sonogram that was done on me. That there was about 15 eggs in that one cycle. They could have pulled 15 eggs in that one cycle. And then if I would have did another cycle, they could have pulled another amount. I don't know how much, but I would think maybe 15. So from what the fertility doctor explained to me is that I had a pretty big number. She said you could get anywhere from 10 to 15. Right now I'm seeing 15 in that one ovary. And she says it seems she calls it a bank. So it's it seems like this was your reserve, where the eggs originated from. They mostly came from here. So that's why you have so many eggs, especially at your age, 37. Sometimes the quality goes down. And so that gave me a little hope. And I was yay, I have a lot of eggs. But then they come back and I don't want to show you the name of the facility because then people will know, let me bend it. So these were the sonograms. Let's see the date there when I went on the 18th. And then this is my name here. These are the ones that they did. And I think these little chocolate things right here are the eggs or the follicles, which they would call them. But I asked her for these because I wanted to save these. And I don't know, I can't really tell here. But, this is my, I call it my God book. And I wrote this. So I'm going to read to you what I wrote on the 19th. And I put the picture in the back. It said, woke up. It was supposed to be understanding that your plan is your plan, God. And you will and your plan, I guess your plan will be done. I love you in all my bad days and good days. Thank you for giving me peace and some understanding. In the next couple of days or weeks, I will go into another surgery. This I was supposed to be, this one is being longer. This on being longer under the knife. Am I scared? Yes. God. Am I? Yes, God. But I am, but I know you have covered me. You have kept me safe. You've loved me and continue to love me unconditionally, and for that I am forever grateful and thankful. I know your will be done. So I've been writing since June, and I've written a lot. And so anytime anything happens, like I actually covered it because I didn't want, like I have a page over and I have tape because I didn't want the sonograms to be damaged because, you know, it's like my memory. And on the 18th, I did write something. Says, God, I am so lost. What do? I need an answer on how to go about my eggs and what is my next step. I know you have the final say. What do I do with this pain? Help me, God. Guide me, God. Get me out of this dark place. Show me the answer and what I need to do and understand. I know this isn't your doing. I am your soldier and still walk and riding with you. I ask for the strength to keep pushing forward. And if you could please allow for my embryos to be used on Odessa. I know you have a great plan because you are loving and kind. You are my all. I will always love you in my good and bad. Your warrior, Alicia. So I have like conversations, even though I know God knows everything, you know, but this is how I build my relationship with God. This is how I talk to him and I say things. And sometimes I write too fast that I don't even finish the word. Like in my head, I thought I finished it. So that's why, like, when I'm reading it, I'm like, I didn't finish that word. But, you know, I just wanted to show the sonogram so that you guys could see. I got to figure out how I'm going to insert it to edit the video. But, yeah. So I have to redo this because I had to block out the number. I had to bend this part. So I don't know why they selected this part because I chose to do the embryo. This says right here, preservation, IVF, egg freezing cycle. And this was the total cost just to freeze the eggs. Not medication, not putting you underneath anesthesia, you know. And then this was the preservation of the IVF embryo freezing cycle, which it cost 800 and something bucks more than this. Now, from what the fertility doctor explained to me is that when you freeze, let's say you freeze 10 eggs, right? You sometimes can lose half of what you freeze because of the thawing. Eggs are not more as capable as surviving like embryos are. Embryos have a 90% chance of surviving, and you can freeze embryos for a pretty long time and they still survive. Now, eggs, you only have but a certain amount of time to freeze them and unthaw them. And I think if you exceed a certain amount of time, the eggs become like they're not viable eggs anymore. So this right here says drugs. So this was the price that she had gave me. But when I got on the phone with the lady, she was like, actually medication costs anywhere from $5,000 to $6,000. So you would need a total of 13,000 and change for that, right? And you know, that just, it hurt me. It hurt me like it just, like, I was going through a really bad breakup. Like, you love someone, but they don't love you back. So, it hurt me like that. Or like if there was a death in the family, But one thing I wanted to say, when the lady was doing the sonogram to check my eggs, she saw another mass, but she wasn't too sure. I did just have surgery like 2 weeks ago, and things could still be swollen in the inside. And she's like, it's not where the ovary is, but it's next to the ovary. It kind of looked like close to the fallopian tube. And so I get a CT scan tomorrow. I have to go early in the morning to get a CT scan. And then on the 1st, I see my doctor, and we will make plans for the second surgery. I think that scares me more than the chemo. And not knowing, because I know that I have to get surgery and I know that I have to get chemo. But it's the not knowing what could happen on the table. And I know that God is in charge, and I know that He has been with me this whole way. And you know what? That night, when I try to get, loans from like a company that does fertility loans, and that wasn't approved, and the bank loan wasn't approved. And it's not that we don't have good credit, because we have good credit. My wife just bought me a car for my birthday, and they didn't hesitate to give her the car at a very low interest rate. Like, they asked for a certain amount, and right off the back. And usually when, banks look at you, they want, like, if they feel like your credit's not good enough or certain things, they start to ask for pay stubs, and they go like extensive. Like, I need to see this. And when Odessa got me the car, they didn't ask for any of that. They didn't ask for none of that. So, and the car will be another whole thing. That was my birthday gift, but I was like, excited about that. I was really sad about not getting the eggs out. But then I started to think. And then I started listening to this song. It's from Marvin Sapp. I don't know anybody who listens to like gospel. I listen to all. I listen to pop, rock, rap, Christian, like gospel. And I love Marvin Sapp. I love Corinne Hawthorne. There's a whole bunch of people that I like. And so I came across this song from Marvin Sapp. And I know it's probably going to be a little long, but I just like, this is my story. And anybody knows me, I always got to start from the beginning to the end. So I came across a song called Close. And a lot of people have seen changes in me. And even my friend Virginia, she's like, girl, I've been there since you started to like now. Like, I've seen so much change in you. So, when you are building a relationship with God and you decide, I don't want to be this person, I want to change my life. And even though I was a good person before, there were things that I did that I think were questionable. Like, there were things that I did that I would look now and I'd be like, why did you do that? Or why'd you say that? Or who made you judge and jury? And so when the enemy sees that you are building a relationship with God and that you are becoming closer to God, he becomes the destruction and he gets in your path. Because, anybody that has read the Bible knows that, yes, God will allow a path for the enemy to come in, because that is where the choice becomes. And he tested a lot of people in the Bible. If anybody has read the Bible, he did test a lot of people in the Bible. And there was people that lost a lot, and they still stood with God. So, sometimes it's a test. And some people may look at it like, why he's testing us, because like most people, we need to know that like God knows who we are. He knows what we're about. And still, he still needs to show the devil that no matter what you do to this person, the soldier is going to be God's soldier. So, and that's how I saw this. When I listened to that song Close, it spoke about when you're getting close to God and what God wants for you, he will interfere. The enemy will interfere. So obviously you're doing something right because the enemy interferes. And that was like the wake up moment for me. And I started to think, God blessed you with 3 kids. And you never know how long the endometriosis was there, or was it there while you were pregnant with the other kids? Like, you never know, because from what the doctor explained, the endometriosis was there a long time because I had so much scar tissue that it was ridiculous. They could not find my ovary. They had to remove the scar tissue and separate the organs to then find the ovary. And so, let me get my thoughts together. Okay, so I was talking about the things that I have. And I cried, and I sat in the dark, and I listened to music. I listened to God's music, and I cried because I understood. I told my wife that if we would have never chosen to inseminate with me and we would have started with her, we would have never found out that I had cancer. So when you look at things, and even Virginia told me this, and she said, Alicia, if you would have never inseminated, you would have never known that you had cancer. And so things worked out the way they were supposed to work out. The way that God planned for them to work out. And maybe there are people who don't believe, but I know my testimony, and I know my story, and I know my journey. So this happened for a reason. The up and leaving New York quick, because God told me it's time to go. The finding the doctors here and then finding the cancer. Everything played out the way it should play out. And maybe because I saw 2 babies in a dream, and when I had my kids, I saw them, and then I had my kids. Like years before I had them, I saw them, and I knew they were all going to be boys. Except the last one, he was the surprise baby. So just the older 2. And I remember, and sorry for changing the subject, but I remember before I was pregnant, everybody used to think I was crazy because I would have these dreams. More like visions. Like God would show me. He would show me my sons. And I knew that it was a boy because he was in a blue blanket. I couldn't see his face. But I was holding a baby in a blue blanket. Twice. And I bought all these clothes. I bought all these baby stuff 3 years before my son was born. And I remember my cousin telling me, I told so-and-so and they thought you was crazy. But now you're pregnant with a son. And you know, God, we don't listen. We're not always in tune with what God is trying to tell us, like the message he's trying to send us. And sometimes we ignore it. And sometimes we think we're having, you know, these weird dreams. And God does speak to us in his way. You know, sometimes we don't listen. And sometimes we do listen. And a lot of the time I acted out like I went across with, like I went forward with these because I believed in my heart what God showed me. And, you know, I had, like, with Odessa, I had dreamed that I had 2 boys. And one was real dark in complexion. And our donor is real dark in complexion. But you see my skin, right? I'm very fair. So the child will come out pretty light. But the other baby, he was light in complexion. And I was in the hospital. Like, this is dreams now that I had started inseminating. So, you know, going back to not being able to take out my eggs. And I said, God was giving me a message that, yes, I would have 2 sons, but I wouldn't bear them. They wouldn't be of my eggs. And I had to come to terms because God made a choice. Allow you to bear children or find your cancer. You know, my wife always tells me that I am highly favored. And I'm like, why do you say that I'm highly favored? And she says, you know, whenever you talk about something and then it comes to be, like whenever you speak about things and being stable and that things are going to be okay, and it ends up being that way. In this time, you know, like I was listening to a voicemail that one of the supporters left me. And she's like, Alicia, you know what? God was preparing you because you started eating healthy and you was trying to lose weight, and he was preparing you for this moment. You know, so I'm not sad. I'm not angry. I just can't feel that way. Can I feel hurt? Absolutely. Can I cry? Absolutely. But my point is that I can't let the enemy take my joy or my fight, because I have a fight ahead of me. And if I sit here and wallow and give up, that's what he wants. He wants me to give up. But I always know that I am God's strong soldier. I always know that the enemy already lost the battle a long time ago. And that whenever you listen to worship music, he is not allowed to be in that space. And whenever the Spirit fills you, he is not allowed to be in that space. There was times that I felt scared to be in the dark. I felt like there was something there that scared me. Even in the shower, I would have dreams of spiders coming down. Like, I would wake up screaming from that dream. And then here in this new apartment, I had a dream, but I ended up waking up, but I wasn't up. And I ran. And I'm screaming, ah! Like, And Odessa says, do you know that you just sat up in the bed and you got up and bolted out of the room? And I was screaming and she thought somebody was breaking in. And she ran after me. She ended up falling, hurting her knees. And then I woke up in that instinct and I said, it's a spider, it's a spider. But it was no spider. When you get in a space that you know that God is your all, that you worship him, that you love him, and that you know that he has blessed you, and that you know he loves you unconditionally because he has sought you out. He has called you multiple times. He has protected you from things that could have hurt you. Yes, the enemy will come into that space. You know, there are people in my position that would think, why would God give me cancer? Why would this? Why? God doesn't do those things. God would never put you in a position to suffer. The position that he will put you in is to make sure that you get the attention that you need. And like I spoke in my earlier videos and in the videos prior, he made space. Somebody canceled their appointment. Doctors attended me quicker. The cancer was found on time. So you have to know that your life and your story is already written. And I think I've said this before. God's timing is not our timing. Or our timing isn't God's timing. And I'd rather be on God's timing. And I know a lot of you see me like, wow, this person used to be this person and this person changed. Like, people change, you know, and I wasn't a bad person before. I just had other characteristics that I don't know how to explain them. But I just want this surgery to hurry up and come and be over with. I think what I fear the most is dying on the table. But I also understand that God is in control. And he has brought me this far. So it was hard to come and say these things. I think I had to have peace with myself first and understand, because women, we go through similar situations, but not everybody's story. No one's story is the same. And I choose to share because when you see someone else's pain, you never understand until it's you. So you're going to see me shave my head off because I do have to get chemo. And my hair will fall out. And so before it falls out, I will shave it off. You might see me sick. But don't ever think that I have allowed the enemy to defeat me. And I choose to show you the raw in me. I appreciate everybody who prays for me. It gives me strength. It gives me ambition. It gives me courage. It gives me ammunition to keep fighting. So, I know this is probably a hard video for a lot of you guys, but I do love and care for a lot of my supporters, the genuine ones, the ones that always have been by my side. And I respect the new ones that come and show me care and concern. And I appreciate. But this war is not over, and I'm gonna fight the best fight that I got in me. So, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my update.